Hello, welcome to another Grasshopper tutorial. In this tutorial, I want to show you how you can use your hand with the leap motion gadget and use it in Grasshopper. As you can see, I can scan my hand and fingers, and also another one. Here it goes. If you put it in the right direction, it's going to scan it. So I'm going to show you how you can use it in Grasshopper, and we're going to start now. So my first example will show you how you can draw with the leap motion in Grasshopper. As you can see, I can make a loft surface with a circle which I'm controlling with my fingers. Or I'm also going to explain how we can define two hands. So I'm going to show you another example which I'm going to add another hand to the example and make a surface with two set of circles. As you can see, I can twist this, make this smaller, bigger. I'm going to use two fingers and define a distance. As you can see, I can make this box bigger and smaller with changing the finger or changing the position. I'm going to also show you how you can use the output from the finger tracker and use it with different techniques in Grasshopper by using the Firefly plugin. Before we go to this tutorial, be sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video. Okay, this is going to be weird. Let's make this. It's going to scan it sometimes. Well, I'm going to show you a video which shows how you can combine this with VR and use it to grab things, and those things you have to have the Oculus Rift, I guess, or other VR gadgets. And let's get started. Okay, the first example is drawing with leap motion. So I'm going to show you how you can use this tool to draw in 3D. Let's get started. First, we have to install the Firefly plugin. There are many plugins that can use the leap motion, but the famous one is Firefly, which I will also put in the description. So what we have to do is to go to the vision, and here we have this leap finger tracker, and I'm going to put this in the canvas, and let's just use the bifocals plugin so you can see what I'm doing. And here it goes. You can see that the default plane is the XY plane. There is a scale which when I put my hand, it will show my hand or two hands. Let's just zoom in, and another thing is the outputs. So the first output is the fingertip points. Let's connect a point to this so you can see. If I turn off this leap finger tracker, you can see that I have the fingers here, which will also include my second hand. And if I want to see the joints, which is also, let's just connect the points to this because those are the points of the hand. It's going to show you the hand. And for the bones, we can connect the curve so you can see it. You can use these outputs if you want to see it in a more simple way, but we can also delete these things and turn this on so we can see the hand and then use the outputs. Another thing you can use maybe in the future if you want to work with a project is to connect a plane to the base, to the palm plane of the hand, and you can see that this is going to give you a plane. This is a simple way of maybe you want to produce a circle. So if I give this to a circle and maybe a radius, you can see that there's going to be a circle on the palm of the hand. I'm going to show you another technique. So we don't need this plane, but if you want, you can use it to produce different things. So let's get started for the first example. Because we have 5 fingers, I'm going to go to the list item in the sets and pick up one of my fingers. So you can see that the first one is going to be this. Let's just turn everything off and highlight this so you can see it. So this is my first finger. We can connect curve to the bones, and we can pick the second finger here. So this is what I want to use, the finger which I want to draw with it. Okay, so you can also select any finger you want. What we want to do is to go to the params menu. In the utility, we have this data recorder, and what this data recorder does is that it records data. If I connect this to a panel and give this a number slider and change the number, you can see it's going to record everything. Let's just scroll down and you can see that's going to record everything. So this is one of the ways you can record data in Grasshopper. I'm going to right click on it and say a limit, maybe 20 data is fine. So when it's going to when we add data, it's going to delete the rest and just have a range of 20 data. So let's just delete the data here and connect it to the finger, and you can see that when I move it, it's going to record my finger, the 20 fingers I have drawn in space. Now what we want to do is to go to the curve section and make an interpolation with these vertices, and now you can see that we can connect them. Let's just turn this off. You can see that we are drawing things, and we can connect this to a pipe. That's the first example. I'm going to go to the surface freeform and use this pipe variable, give it to the curve. Remember, for the pipe variable, we have a tutorial. If you don't know and you want to know more about pipe variable, I'm going to put it up here, which you can use it. And also, if you want to learn more about the Firefly plugin, I guess we have to talk about animation and sound. That's a really cool tutorial. So if you have not watched it, I'm going to put it up here. It's a really amazing tutorial. Just check it out. It's about sound and animation. So what I want to do is to reparameterize this curve. So it's going to be from 0 to 1 and give the parameters and multiple numbers. 0 means the start, 0.5 is the mid, and 1 is the end. Now we can give this a radii. So let's just get started with 1 and the midpoint and the end. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and give this to the radii with the shift key, and you can see that it's going to let's just zoom out, produce a pipe which is smaller at the start and the end. We can also connect a display, a custom preview to this, so you can see the shaded mode of this. That's the way we can draw with the leap motion. You can see it's completely a 3D drawing, and we can have it in Grasshopper. The next example I want to show you is the way we can use the leap motion to make this. This is really simple, and I want to show you how we can use the fingertips to draw a circle. Let's get started for this one and go to the Firefly Vision, a leap finger tracker. I'm going to put it here. Okay, and that's it. Now what I want to do is, if I give the fingertips to the point, we can go to the curve section, the primitive, and I'm going to use this circle fit. So I'm going to fit a circle into my fingers, and that's it. You can see that I can control that circle simply by just changing my fingertips. And now we can connect that to a circle on the ground. So let's just make that with a circle and give it a radius, and go to the surface and loft. Use a shift key to connect that. You can see that it's not giving us the loft, and that's the reason. If you look at the input, it says 2 groups, and it didn't put it in 1 group. So I'm going to right click and flatten this. So if you don't know what flatten means, I'm going to also put that tutorial up here so you can know more about groups. That means that all of those circles are into 1 group, and we can have that surface. You can also go to the loft option and put it on the align section, so it's giving better results. Let's just connect a custom preview to that, and we are good to go, and turn everything off. That's it. You can see that I can make it smaller, bigger, and play with this loft uh, whatever I want. And we can also draw another circle with this hand and say, if I give the two hand, you can see it's going to produce a circle with running around all of the finger points, so it's making it bigger. We can control that with two hands. But if you want to have two hands separately, what we can do here is to, let's just go to the points. I'm going to go use list item, and picking up 5 fingers is to give it index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to use a series. Again, if you don't know about series, I'm going to put it up here, which it's going to use different tools. I have talked about series. For now, we're going to start from 0. The step is 1. It goes 1 by 1, and we have 5 fingers. So we can say it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to pick up the 4 fingers. We're going to give that to one of the circles and have that circle. Now I'm going to again copy this with Control C, Control V, and start this from number 5, because the 4 was the 5th finger, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we have the second circle. That is really amazing. And now we can have and control that simply with 2 hands. So we can just connect them together. Maybe we want to divide them and divide them by 12 counts and connect them as a line. That's visually better, so you can see what's happening, and we are connecting them. We have to rotate that to produce better results, because it's going to change the seam of the circle. So it's a little bit awkward because it's a circle fit. It just fits the points to the circle. But you can also sort those points if you want. So let's just get that hand, and here it goes. So this is the way we can play with it. We can also use a loft if you want to have a simple connection. And let's use the shift key again, flatten that, and on the options I'm going to use the align sections. That's going to give you better results. And the second hand, here we go, you can see it's giving you better results. That's it. And that's the way we can play with 2 sets of fingertips. The last example I want to explain is how we can scale with this. Assume that I want to make a box, move it around with this point, and then scale it with another finger. So we want to make that happen by going to the lead finger tracker, and I'm going to put out the second finger here and make a box with a box domain, which will put the base plane is going to go to that point. So whenever we put the hand, the box is going to go into this finger. So let's give it a size, maybe 20. And when you connect the number to a domain, it's going to say from 0 to 20. So you can see that. Let's just put the finger on here. You can see it's in the tip of my finger. If you want the finger to be in the center of the box, you can simply go to the math, connect a construct domain, and say it's from -10 to 10, which makes 20. So we can say minus x divided by 2 to x divided by 2, and give that to x, y, and z. So you can see the box is in the fingertip, but it's in the center of it. So you can also use that to put it at the center if you want, but let's just put that back on the fingertip so we can control the box. The next thing is I want to put another hand and then scale this with another finger. So we can go here, use a list item. The finger is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the next hand is going to be 5, 6. I'm going to say 6 and find the distance between these 2 points. In the vector section, I'm going to use the distance, and now we want to, if we want to give that to a scale, it's going to make it so big. So I'm going to scale this box, okay, at the center point, which we can go to the surface and use this volume to find the centroid. You can see it's going to scale that. If you want to scale it at the finger, you can simply just give your fingertip to the center, so you can see that the box is going to scale at your fingertip. Now what we want to do is the most important thing. Let me just connect a panel to this so you can understand how this works. If I give the second hand here, you can see that when I move my finger, it's going to give us a distance. So when I just go near, it's going to be near maybe 2, and when I go far, it's going to be like 25, okay, or maybe 30. It's something near that. It's not going to recognize my second hand if I go too far. So maybe from 2 to 25 is fine. Now what you want to do is to use the remap numbers from the math, not a remap plus, which we had talked about before. The remap numbers give us the flexibility to define a source. So I'm going to give this distance and say that the distance is between 2 to 25, and I want to scale those numbers to a target. So I'm going to make a construct domain and say between 0.2 to maybe, I don't know, 2 times if I make it bigger, and give that to the factor. So let's just make that box off. And if I have this fingertip and add the second one, let's just add the second hand, you can see that I can scale it with my second finger. That's the way we can play with it and move it around and scale it like that. So this was the last lesson. You can use the Firefly plugin in Grasshopper to produce results. I hope that you enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe and like this video and comment to support the video, and see you next time.